nutritional values, and we're talking about with Warren Green. It is IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak with Victorianne and Walton and Warren Green. We're discussing nutritional factors and the African American Cancer Awareness Week. We are excited to have Warren. I'm not for sure where Romunda is, but she did have another class prior. But you guys can barely handle Warren. So, I appreciate my man being on the line with us, and always Garla allowing him to give us an hour of his time. So, with it being African American Cancer Awareness Week, I am a two-time breast cancer survivor and COVID survivor. Whoop, whoop. We fought that demon COVID and we fought that cancer demon. Warren is a cancer survivor. You won't believe how old Warren is. Warren, if you don't mind telling your age.
Well, I'll be 82 in August.
82. Some of us, we didn't think we would make it to 50, but here we are.
I
So
didn't think I'd make it to 40.
wow.
And I had a little history. I'm born and raised in the South Bronx.
Hmm.
In 1939, and my lifestyle wasn't one that was conducive to living to be 40. I did all of the things that they tell you ought not do if you want to live a long and healthy life. I was diagnosed with cancer in 1990, and I'm sorry, 2005.
Wow.
Period. And that's when I really had it scared me to death. I took a tour around to visit all of my friends because I thought that was the end. My prognosis, my cancer was very aggressive. So I started researching it
Hmm.
because right about that time I had my first grandchild. I didn't have my first grandchild till I was 60. So I said, well, wait a minute. I might want to see what's happening here. And I started looking at the whole at medicine. And I didn't come away feeling comfortable because I saw where a lot of the doctors I was talking to were winging it. And if they're
Thank
winging
you.
it, they really didn't
Thank
know
you.
bedside manner that was actually right. They didn't know much more about it than me after I researched it.
Hmm.
And that's when I decided that you really have to start doing your own research.
You
You're
do.
only going to see your doctor maybe 2 hours a year.
Right. You're right. You have to be your own advocate and you have to do your own research. I mean, I know when I find out something, I instantly call Warren and Ramunda and do you know about this? What is your opinion about this? What do you think about this? Because cancer is ever evolving, and so should our lifestyle, and so should our fight back. Hi, Carolyn Harvey. I know Carolyn is an advocate in the cancer community. And there's a lot of us that are advocating for healthy foods and a better lifestyle. But we can do all of that, but we can't. Like, I know someone who just eats out every day. They don't eat anything healthy. It's always a burger or fried something. And I told her I was going to talk about it. She said it was okay. She's about 400 pounds. And she's not interested in drinking water, Warren. And she has cancer. And she said, whatever's happened is going to happen. And for a lot of us, that's the mindset that we have. Whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So that should not be your mindset, because if you're thinking like that, your children will think like that, your grandchildren will think like that, and that's where that family curse comes in at. And with it being African American Cancer Awareness Week, I don't even care if it's our week. We need to have these conversations every day about how to make it better and what you can do to fight, Warren. So I applaud us for always being the advocates. Now, health and wellness is a thankless position. You're not going to get the big kudos. You're not going to, get the big parades and fireworks. But I am always excited when someone calls and says, Vicky, you told me to try this. Or Vicky, I heard what Warren said about this and I tried it and it's working. That's the thank you that I'm looking for. So I don't need a parade. I don't need a cookout. I don't need fireworks. I just need people to listen to us. And I think that's what's going on. And again, I appreciate the shares. If you have any questions, I'm reading your questions. I am waiting to hear from you. I have written down what I have so far, and we're going to get to it. You are listening to IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak. I'm Victorianne Russell Walton, aka Maryland's Big Diva. And I've got my mentor, my host on the call with me, Warren Green out of the beach. And we're excited that he's here to answer your questions. So keep typing them in. We're going to get to as many as we can. We did our commercial break earlier so that we can continue with this talk. Hello on all social medias. We're excited to have you. And again, I'm getting comfortable, everybody. You know what that means. So again, I am excited for the, conversation, and I'm excited for the talk. So Warren, as a male African American cancer survivor, what do you tell men other than don't smoke they should be doing to monitor their prostate, their lungs, and breast cancer?
Well, I'm a cause and effect advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Always the cause. How did, because the first question I asked when I got my diagnosis is, how did I get it?
Mm-hmm.
Every cancer survivor, every cancer person I've ever known asked, well, how did I get it? Usually the doctors can't tell you. Of course they can't. They never can get enough information to tell you. So you have to begin trying to find out what caused this thing, because what happened with mine, I had surgery and I went back to doing what I was a prostatectomy. And I went back to doing what I was doing, like the doctor said, and my cancer recurred after 36 months, which is about the time it usually recurs.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm asking myself, well, how did this happen? What caused it? Because why deal with it if you know that it's going to recur? So I began my research on what is it that caused the problem. And I looked at some of the things that I did. And that's when I came away with things like dairy and meat, and what was the causes, what were they looking. And then if you dig a little deeper, you can go to some websites like the National Institutes of Health,
Mm-hmm.
NIH, where they have where they're studying things, and then you can start looking at what they're looking at. Look at what your doctor's looking at. See what they got in the pipeline. Right now, there's only 2 or 3 ways. They only have the standard of care is important to the medical profession. Of course, research is a little different and it's a little more broader.
Mm-hmm.
But the standard of care for cancer is either chemo, radiation, surgery. Lately, they came up with immunotherapy. That's all they got.
Wow. I'm glad you brought up immunotherapy. Let's talk about immunotherapy.
Sure. Well, so what is it? Well, immunotherapy is teaching your immune system to recognize cancer. What happens with cancer is the body doesn't recognize that it's an alien substance in you. It's alien. So the body doesn't, your defense system doesn't recognize it. So it starts growing until your defense system might even kill you trying to kill the cancer. Mm-hmm. That's what fever's all about. That's what any pain you might get that's not caused by some sort of trauma is your immune system trying to tell you something.
Okay.
Bloating, all of those kind of things are immune response.
Okay.
So the immunotherapy, they recognize that we can actually teach your body through antigens and antibodies what it's looking for. That's all. That's the same basis for immunization, which is a form of immunotherapy. They're actually teaching your body to look for this alien substance in it and attack it.
Right.
That's what it is. And they just got approval from the FDA for this maybe 5 years ago. This is a new, they didn't have this when I was coming around.
No, this is a new fight, and
And
people
that's
like
why I say, if you are diagnosed with this cancer, it would be in your best interest to look at a comprehensive cancer treatment center, a comprehensive, just for a second opinion. So at least get their opinion and take it to the people who are going to treat you,
I
because
like
the
that.
others are a little bit too limited to me.
Right. So you're listening to IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak with Victorianne Russell Walton, aka Maryland's Big Diva, and Warren Green. You can always reach us both on Facebook. You can call us at 301-683-8690. Warren is also on Facebook and a writer for the I always say Christian Broadcast Network out of Virginia Beach. You can always reach out to him there. But we want to thank all of those on Talk Block for listening in. We hope you learned something today and you took your notes. Please feel free to continue to listen in as they go on break on Talk Blog on all social medias. We're going to continue with this conversation. So thank you so very much. And Warren, so you broke down the Comprehensive Treatment Center. I know that there's one called CHIPSA in New Mexico that is all the rave now. That they push a lot of vegetables and fruits and spices and natural herbs. We've talked about natural herbs that can heal. I'm a huge fan of sour soap. I'm a huge fan of cinnamon and black cinnamon. I'm a huge fan of black seed oil. I feel that those things in moringa work for me. Can you give us, along with seaweed and nori? I know you are a huge fan of mushrooms. Can you give us just a few things that you are have a positive response to, and that a couple of things that you might want to suggest?
Well, what you mentioned there is fiber. Fiber is critical. You need fiber, period, to regulate your blood and your blood sugars. So fiber. So whatever fiber that you use is beneficial. Whatever fiber. Now, fibers come in all choices. They have advertisements now for Metamucil and so forth, which is psyllium husk. That's my fiber of choice, period. But fibers. If you do 5 vegetables like the USDA prescribes, 5 fruits or vegetables a day, you're going to get enough fiber, period. But look on your ingredients to see what the fiber, dietary fiber content is when you're putting it in your body. Wow, what are you getting? Because if you're not getting at least five
Hi,
uh,
Joan.
percent dietary fiber, anything less than that, I like to say 4, is fake food. It's not
Yeah,
food. It's not nutrition. So what are you putting it in your body for? If it's just the taste or for some sort of comfort, that's not a wise decision.
it's not. So, hi, Carolyn. Hi, Joan. Hi, Harv. Hi, Antoine. Hi, Mitria. Hi, everybody that's tuning in. If you have any questions, please type them down. I am taking questions other than my husband who's flirting with me on open social media. I don't think he knows that he's sending messages openly. So, Sugar, be careful with what you're about to type next, because God only knows what comes out this man's mouth. So, so fiber is important. And Warren, we talked about a clean gut and a healthy gut. Is a better gut and it helps you out daily. People don't realize that a lot of times when they're sick, it is because you have a gut that is filled with bacteria, but people don't know how to naturally clean your gut out. I remember my mom used to take a swig of vinegar every time after dinner. She would take a swig of vinegar, and we used to say, "Ugh, that is disgusting." Well, guess who's taking a swig of vinegar after dinner, especially after I've had something oily? This girl right here. Because it works for me. May not work for you, but it works for me.
Well, bacteria is part of your gut, and it's part of the population of your gut.
Right.
There's good bacteria and bad bacteria. You always want the good bacteria to be the strongest bacteria component in your
Right.
gut. You're gonna have both.
Mm-hmm.
So what happens is the good overrides the bad, and that's the way that works. But you can't. What happens is when you take an antibiotic and you're killing all the
You're
bacteria,
killing everything.
that's
You're
a
killing.
problem. Now, when you think that bacteria, your gut, which is where your immune system is,
Mm-hmm.
starts when you're nursing, when the mother is nursing the baby's getting these components into its immune system,
Mm-hmm.
and it develops and develops all their life. You do not want to destroy that with antibiotics.
I like that, Warren. And that leads into the next question. Well, leads into it. So ask Mr. Warren, when should a child start taking vitamins?
That's that you need to see what you need to understand what your essential nutrients are, which are your vitamins, your minerals, your substances, your carbohydrates, your protein. You figure out what they are. And with babies, I don't know. I can't say. And you might want to talk to your doctor about that. I don't think that depending upon the diet, everything depends upon the diet. You might get all of the nutrients that it needs from the diet.
Okay.
That's the optimum thing to do, is to get all your nutrients from your diet. You shouldn't have to supplement what you eat.
That's what I said. That's good. So you heard that. Check with your doctor first, and then, um,
You
and then
shouldn't have to
follow up.
supplement your
Right.
your diet. You shouldn't have to supplement your diet.
Okay. And remember, what Warren and I are giving you, these are our opinions. You take it as an opinion. You always follow up with your doctor, follow up after your doctor with prayer. And between all of us, somebody somewhere will guide you in the right way to go. I can tell you what works for me. Coming down from being a size 24 to now 12, 14, I know what I had to cut out, but I also understood that it took me years to pick that weight up. And what does weight have to do with anything? You put that weight on your body. Remember, we all have the same skeletons. There's no such thing as big boned. We all have the same bones. So when you see a big person, they have the same bones as a little person. So my body, my knees were starting to talk to me. I don't know who that is. Please don't call me during the show. I'm not going to answer your questions. Just type it in. I'll get you, I promise. So my knees were, and the seniors say, starting to talk to me. And it was because I had so much weight on it. So losing the weight helped me get healthier, but I had to also understand it took me a while to gain the weight. So it's going to take you a while to lose the weight. All of these come by, lately, lose the weight, lose 20 pounds this weekend. You know what that is? That's just you cleaning your gut out, isn't it, Warren? So you're losing 20 pounds because that's where all that fecal and yucky stuff is. Clean your gut out, you lose the weight. Lose the weight, you'll feel better. You feel better, you'll act out more. Act out more means being more active. Being more active means a longer and healthier lifestyle. So it's all a full circle. You want to really lose the weight, exercise, clean your gut out. Stop taking these pop pills and trying to lose the weight quick fast, because if you lose it quick fast and you don't understand how you lost it, you're just going to pick it right back up. Right, Warren?
Yeah, well, losing weight fast. Okay, your body. Think about it like this: you have stem cells and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, and your skin, your stem cells, your cells regenerate every 7 years. Every 7 years, you have a whole new series of cells that's in your skin, that's in your body, and so forth and so on. So if you're yo-yoing, if you're losing weight, gaining weight, eventually your body eventually is not you're not you might say, okay, now I'm down to my optimum weight, but your skin is sagging. Well, of course it's sagging, because now you've it, you have you it's out of balance.
Right.
and you're not, and your stem cells are not going to work as fast as everything else works. So they have surgery, tummy tucks, and all of that. That might not be necessary. And even everything else, even with cleansing your gut, you need to make, if your diet is proper, you would never gain weight. So once you start regulating your diet, and you have that, where you get your body will get a rhythm and it'll understand, and then you don't have to worry about gaining weight anymore. So you won't have all of this residue and stuff, and you're going to have the proper amount of fiber that you need every day. You're going to get all your nutrients and everything else. It's not reasonable to think that you have a little 5 or 6 year old child and you're a 30-year or 40-year-old person, and maybe you have a big, robust husband. That you all can't have the same diet. Doesn't make sense.
Right.
you,
Right. The
you know, it
baby's not
all
going to
has to
need it
be
anyway.
tailored for what your personal need is.
Hmm. Right. I,
So
I
you
like.
never want to get in a position to
Mhm.
have to clean out your gut. Now, once you do it, you shouldn't ever have to do it again.
Hmm. You don't? I didn't know that.
You shouldn't, because you're just going back and doing the same thing that caused the problem in the first place. So you want to if you get your fiber right, keep yourself hydrated and so forth and so on, and that should be your lifestyle. Then you don't have to. Then you won't have the problem anymore.
Okay. So the next one is ask Warren about fasting. To fast or not to fast? What do you think,
I
Warren?
love I started off saying I do intermittent fasting,
Yeah, you
and
did.
that will give the body a break. I use a 8 hour window to
Mhm.
eat from 12 noon to 8 p.m., and I don't eat after that, either there or in the morning.
Oh, okay. But you have to figure out what fast works for you. Okay. So we're going to put that clause in there. We don't want you
Well, why are
to.
you fasting? Because most cultures have some sort of fasting,
Right.
and exactly what are you fasting to do?
Good question. It
Sometimes
is.
it's religious.
Mhm.
So what do you fast? What are you attempting to do? If you're talking about weight, well, weight management is probably something. I would do intermittent fasting as a lifestyle, and weight management is something else. Because really, weight management is actually burning more calories than
Mhm.
you're consuming. And you
Right.
can look on your nutrition facts on all of your food to see what that is. But if your dietary fiber is more than your total fat, you're never going to gain weight.
Yeah. Wow. Good point, Warren. Let me check that off. Now, here's a good question. I love this. Again, you're listening to IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak. We're talking about nutrition and African American Cancer Awareness Week. We're giving you some tidbits. If you have questions, please ask. I am writing them down, and I write them down to keep them on my notes. Do I share the videos? Yes, but I'm a writer, so I like to write them down. So that's what I'm doing. Um, and it says, why do, what? Why do all health disparities like sugar or chocolate? And can I continue to eat dark chocolate? Dark chocolate is supposed to be good. I mean, I'm a little tan myself. So what do you
It's an
think, Warren?
antioxidant.
It's an antioxidant.
It has antioxidant properties.
Okay.
Antioxidants are anti-aging.
I
Your
like that.
body loves that. Your
Antioxidant.
immune system loves that.
Yeah. So you say, so it's a two-part question. Should you eat a lot of sugar? No.
Well, the paradox with sugar is that diseases like cancer are anaerobic. So it needs another energy source
Mm-hmm.
because it's not going to, it doesn't need oxygen to grow like most things. It doesn't need oxygen. So you don't want to give it an energy source. And that's what sugar does.
So what was the word you said? Can
Anaerobic.
anaerobic.
Aerobic is with oxygen, anaerobic is no oxygen.
Okay. learn a new word today. I thank you. I'm going to add that to my list. Thank you, Warren. See, I always learn something new when I am talking with Warren and we're dialoguing about this. Oh, good question. So, okay, I like this question. And I'm going to tell you right now, Warren is going to get you when I ask this question, but I'm not going to say your name. I know who on IG they use nicknames, but your face is there, so I know who you are. So this says, I'm jump starting my diet, and yes, I said diet, and I do a quick 5 pound loss by starving 48 hours. Is that healthy?
By doing what? 48 hours?
Starving 48 hours.
I don't know why. What are you trying to do?
They're
I
trying to
mean,
lose
you're
weight.
fasting. What are you trying to do?
Yeah. You're not
I mean,
going
I
to
don't know
lose.
what you're trying to do. If
Yeah.
hydration is critical, so fasting I think is okay, but but you have to be hydrated now. And think about this. Now they recommend you drink a half gallon to a gallon of water or fluid a day. A gallon is 8 pounds.
Yeah.
So it's easy to lose 5 pounds. If you don't drink any water for a day, well, what happens is the body tries to protect itself by retaining the water that you have.
Mm-hmm.
Salt always also does that. Sodium also does that. It'll
Right.
retain the water that you're consuming. So most of these diets talk about that. And if you drink enough water, then your body says, well, we're getting enough water, and it'll relax. So I can understand how you can lose a 5 or 10 pounds right away, and that's all probably because of the retaining of water. So the
Right.
diets are designed to 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 mitigate that.
Mm-hmm.
If
I
that's
like that.
if that makes sense.
It does make sense. And again, if you fast for 48 hours and you're not drinking and eating, you're probably going to hit the table. So make sure you're sitting still
Yeah,
somewhere.
yeah, and you're gonna lose. You probably will lose fat. You'll lose all of the water, and but your body will probably try to retain
Right.
the
Something.
water. You'll probably feel uncomfortable. I don't know. But then
I,
again, Dick Gregory did it and I was a disciple of his. I recommend he fasted for 48 days, which
wow.
was fascinating. Yes, incredible.
48 days. Did he
Yeah,
drink water?
he drank water, and that was it.
Oh,
48 days, and then he walked 40 miles.
that's some discipline. I don't have that kind of discipline, Warren. I'm sorry. I don't have it. But so this is a good question. I've often wondered about this too. Warren, what's the difference between white eggs and brown eggs?
I don't know of any difference.
Okay. It's just the color of the
Except for
shell,
that
right?
different chickens
Yeah. There's no
make
difference.
different kind of eggs.
Yeah. I don't that is a good question. What is it? Okay. We'll add
Well, I
that.
mean, different chickens. They only use the chickens that they use usually have white feathers, so that so that you don't see the feathers when they clean it. And that's about all. So they only use one kind of chicken. Eggs are another ball game. The egg industry in this country is atrocious. So.
Oh my God. Okay, we're not gonna talk on that.
Let's talk about it a bit because
Okay.
that I think it's very important. I only consume Eggland's Best because at least I know that they look at it twice. The quality control got to be better than the other. Remember,
Right.
this egg is coming out of a chicken's rectum, and they can't clean it. They can't use hot water. So how do they clean the egg? So if you break the eggshell in, you might be getting fecal material if you break it. So to me, I at least try to get a, a, a second look at it with people, the better quality control. And I believe Eggland's Best, and I've been using that for years. Quality control is a little better. It's a little more expensive, but then they also add a couple of more. They add some nutrients in it that you might want, like omega 3. You would want omega-3. It's an anti-inflammatory. So eggs in itself are probably it has its own problems, eggs, cholesterol, and so forth and so on. So you would want something positive from the egg experience, like omega-3, B12, I think you'll get from eggs and so forth. So I do it, and that's positive. I believe it's a cleaner egg.
So when you say they can't, because you just opened up, boy, you should see those questions coming in. What does Warren mean they can't clean the egg?
Well, how can they clean it? They can't use hot water. And places like in Europe and other places in the world, they don't even have to refrigerate eggs. In the United States, you have to refrigerate it or they won't keep. So they wash off all of the natural things. They rinse, but they can't. I mean, warm water is not going to clean fecal material off an egg.
Ew, Warren?
No, I mean, just think about it.
I never did until now. So wait, hold it. So how are they? So you're right. They can't put it in hot water. So is a bacterial steam bath? I'm gonna Google how do they clean eggs.
No, it's not steam at all. And this egg industry, they have multiple problems in the egg industry that really is not publicized. But if you look up, and almost everywhere, it's bad news.
I want to find out what the CDC says about cleaning eggs. I never thought about that, Warren. Thank you, Warren.
Go to agriculture's egg. I get a listing of all of the some of that. They have, and let me say, I don't want to say they recall, because we in the United States, they don't have, the USDA nor the FDA have recall authority. We can't recall anything that might be bad. It's just out there, and the recall is voluntary.
Wow. And that's after they've killed how many people? What's the percentage?
That's right. That's what I don't like. That's why I don't do shellfish.
Yeah.
Because shellfish is the same kind. They only begin to start looking at it when when somebody gets sick, and then they question the bed.
Right. Well, that's what I think is so amazing, because it's like, for the recall list last week that we did, and for this week, on the list is mushrooms, tacos, cheese, popcorn, chocolate chip cookies, pet food, blueberries. I mean, the list is 40 items long, and I didn't know popcorn. Why is there milk in popcorn?
I don't know.
Okay.
Well, where is it listed in the ingredient statement?
Well, I have to go through each one again, and it's listed under ingredients. It says milk.
Is it may contain?
Right, may contain milk.
If it says may contain, what happens with that is that now they have to publish all allergens. Milk is an allergen. And sometimes they multi-purpose this equipment. So they might be doing this with this equipment, and then they'll change it around to do something else, and they don't do a thorough cleaning.
Got you. Ooh. Okay, let me tell you, when it comes to the food in our country, we don't know what we're eating. Like, they did a recall on baby food because the baby food had arsenic. No, the wording was it had too much arsenic. But to me, if it said too much, that means that there's arsenic in the baby food. Why is there arsenic in the baby food?
Well, there's that.
I know arsenic is in the chicken, but in the baby food, Warren?
Sure. Yeah. But, well, arsenic is they say that arsenic is naturally occurring. I don't buy that. I never did. But, it's in the soil. I don't by that. But nevertheless, arsenic is used to kill parasites in poultry and such. Period. You know that arsenic is in celery. It's in fat. Well, it's in the soil.
Right. It's in the
So
soil.
sure. And so it's used extensively. I believe it's in the soil because it passed through the poultry, but I don't know. But I know that it's something that is, and my position is, or they ought to be able to, declare it. I understand that it might be there, but they ought to declare it. It should be listed on the packaging. That's my contention.
Yeah,
I understand that it might, but it should be listed,
it should be. We don't understand that.
identified, so that you can protect yourself. So if you
Right.
don't want to consume a poison,
Right.
you don't
You
have to.
you won't have to. Yeah, who wants we already have enough health disparities. We don't need food poisoning, which half of us get sick from eating something anyway.
Well, let's take that away from food poisoning. That's something that's going to be, that's systemic. That's going to get in. They can't get rid of it, so it's in your body forever.
That it's just amazing. Again, this is IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak. I am your host, Victorianne Russell Walton, aka Maryland's Big Diva, along with my man Warren Green, who is educating us and giving us a lot of great nutritional nip bits, as I call them, always answering your questions the best to our ability. And I cannot believe we have, I think, 5 minutes left. This is African American Cancer Awareness Week. And all that we're talking about, you can apply to your life if you're going through that or you have a loved one. Everyone knows someone going through a health disparities, including cancer. And according to the Cure magazine and CDC's brown and black colors for cancer are tripled. And we know why. We have to go to the doctor and we have to take our health disparities serious. Now, how do we do that? We eat healthy, we exercise. Warren told me he drinks a glass of red wine every day, Warren.
I like to drink because of it. It helps strengthen the immune system.
Mhm.
And in the Mediterranean diet, they also advocate for the same thing, red
Mhm.
wine, just
Right.
because we know that it strengthens the immune system and helps your body fight disease.
We didn't say beer. We didn't say beer. And we didn't say hard liquor. We said red wine.
Well, the body loves fermented stuff.
Hmm.
You've mentioned that your mother tasted vinegar,
That's
which is
correct.
also fermented. So I got that, and that's all part of the same thing.
Hmm.
But the best fermented uh, uh, substance that you probably could have is grapes and red wine. I also talked about, when people talk about fighting cancer, I don't really understand what they mean sometimes. When if all they do is go to the doctor, he tells them something, and then you go back and do what you were doing, you're not fighting. And
You're
if you're
not.
giving the fight over to your doctor, all your doctor's there for is to provide you, is to consult, give you information for you to fight. But fighting means you're going to have to change something in your lifestyle, and you're going to try to have to figure out how you got this thing,
Mhm.
because he's not going to be able to tell you. You're going to have to try to understand how I got this cancer so I can protect myself and my family from getting the same thing.
Exactly. And it's a change of lifestyle. You are fighting for your life. This is your life. That doctor sees how many patients in a day. And a lot of times when you see them again, some of them don't even remember who you are because they see so many patients in a day. And they can't remember your illness. I know I walked in one time, I had a rash, and the doctor was like, "Okay, so where are you here?" Like, you didn't even read my chart. You knew I was coming. I planned this appointment 30 days ago. But they see so many, and he can only give me his opinion as to why I have a rash. Well, the medicine he gave me a worse rash. So they don't know. Me personally, I depend on old school. I listen to the elders. I listen to those in the Appalachian Mountains. I read their notes of what they do to heal themselves. Because listen, before grandmama and them had all these pills, They had the backyard. Okay. They had the herbs, they had the spices, they had the cinnamons, they had the backyard. So my question has always been, what do we take before we had all of this? That's what I want to know. Wheatgrass for energy. They call this bunny ears for burns, and it actually tingles. I don't know really what it does, but if you cut it and open it up, unlike aloe vera plants, it tingles. So there's a lot of natural way of helping your body. Like, I did not know, Warren, pine needles have more vitamin C than an orange. Pine needles.
Could
If you
be.
boil pine needles, it gives you more vitamin C than an orange. Did you guys know that? There are a lot of natural ways, and dandelions. We used to suck on dandelions and honeysuckles, and then they say don't do that. It's just a weed. Well, dandelions have a lot of great potential in getting your body whole and healthy.
Well, think about this. Any mammal can give you
Yeah,
milk. All mammals can give you milk. They
yeah.
use cow's milk because you can get the most milk from an animal from a cow, but
Hmm.
you can get milk from your cat or milk from your dog.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's what we're talking. So when you talk about vitamin C, well, okay, orange is easy to grow and give it, but of course there might easily be things that are, but commercially it's not feasible to,
no,
to say we're going to market pine. Well, period. It's easier for somebody to eat an orange.
right, right. And nobody's gonna make any money off of
Right. It's
it.
all about making the
It
money.
is. Because you could go outside and get pine needles all day long.
That's right.
And you
And it's
can't go
all about,
outside and
or
get oranges.
dandelions, which I
Yeah.
mean, just like you said, dandelions, people are throwing them away, make wine out of it.
Yeah. Make wine.
Nature,
Did y'all hear that?
nature is giving you here, take this and use.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to cut it up and throw it away,
Yeah.
because it makes my garden look bad.
Yeah.
When here, I used to live on when I was living in rural North Carolina, where I could pick up enough pecans.
Hmm.
I could probably make a living on the pecans from the pecan trees. And yet,
Wow.
and still, I just left them alone. I never even gave it any thought. But nuts are
Yep.
extremely beneficial
Hmm.
to your health.
Nuts are, but not all nuts, right, Warren?
Well, I don't know what nuts aren't.
Okay. So
A
cashews,
peanut is not a
pistachios.
nut. Like, for instance, I mean, and if you're going to put salt on it, of course, but most nuts are because they're live. Anything that's live is probably going to be good for your body. A nut is alive. It's not decomposing. It's not a dead cell you're putting in your body. That can't be healthy. Hello?
As it says, there's a storm coming, but there he is. Are you back, Warren?
Yes.
Yeah, there's no storm. It just said thunderstorm watch, and the sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. I don't know what that was, but we were talking about nuts, and you said peanut is not a nut, but just like he said, then we add chocolate, then we add the sugar, then we add
Yeah.
the salt. Then we add the chipotle sauce. Nature gives us what we need as it is, and then we add all this junk to it to make it unhealthy. Here's a healthy nut, but hold on, it's not sweet enough. Let me add some sugar.
Sure. And the trade-off is, are you getting enough nutrients from the nut before you
Mhm.
add stuff in it to
Yeah.
make it less nutritious?
Well, let me tell you something. I cannot believe it's 2 o'clock. I hope you learned something today, and I know you did that you did not know before. It's African American Cancer Awareness Week, and we in the community have a lot of fight to do. I know that I am planning two pop ups, one in the Hampton Roads area and one in the DC area. Shout out to my girls Stubbs with Leap of Faith. I can't wait to chat with her. And then, of course, I'll work with Warren and his community for the pop up in the Hampton Roads area. There's a lot of work for us to do. The doors are opening up now. They say you don't have to wear a mask, and it's up to you. I am wearing a mask. I don't trust any of you. So I will continue to wear a mask. I'm just not. I need my pacifier. I've had it too long. So it's up to you and what you do, but be whole, be healthy, and be kind to each other. But remember, stay healthy. Put that hamburger down and get a wrap. You can have everything in moderation. My cousin made a cake that I requested. It's a pineapple coconut cake. Now, I could have eaten the entire thing. My God, Warren, that thing weighed about 50 pounds, but I didn't. I sliced it down, and you can have anything in moderation. I didn't sit there and eat the entire cake with a cup of coffee like I wanted to. I had that little devil on my shoulder. Eat the cake, anime. But I didn't. I didn't eat the cake, anime. I was really good. So, anything in moderation. And if you make a mistake, don't beat yourself up. Just start over again. Life is full of mistakes. You get healthy one day at a time. You lose weight one day at a time. And for those of you who feel that you need someone to talk to, there is no stigma in you talking to somebody else. Okay? Get the help if you feel you need the help. Get it. All right. This world is a different world, and sometimes some of us need a little bit more help than the rest of us. And there's nothing wrong with that. Talk to somebody, talk to Jesus, but talk to somebody because God put people here on this earth to help us out. And that's why they're here to help us out. So, Warren, we thank you and tell them, Warren, how to get in contact with you again.
You can get in touch with me. I'm on Facebook all over.
Mm.
Other than that, I'm not really doing much of anything now. The summer's coming. I'm swimming a little more. I'm a horse player, but nevertheless, you can reach me on Facebook and through Vicky, and I'm always available on that email,
Mhm.
warreng9241 at hotmail.com. You can reach me there with any kind of questions you have, and I'll be glad to answer them.
Thank you, Warren. And you can always reach out to me, Victorian Russell Walton, aka Maryland's Big Diva, at 301-683-8690. And also through Facebook. I know some of you are calling me through Facebook. I don't always answer it because, I don't need another car warranty. And 9 times out of 10, those are the calls I'm getting. So leave a message and I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. We want to thank everybody for tuning in today. All social media, konnichiwa, bonjour, hello, how y'all doing? How your mom and them doing? So, and we look forward. Warren, next week, the topic is dating during a pandemic. It's gonna be hot. It's for adults only, and I can't wait for our special guest, who is a dating specialist expert, who's gonna give us some tips about dating during the pandemic, staying together during the pandemic. I have people say I can't wait to get back to my work husband. That's mind-boggling, but I understand. I hear you. And then, trying not to divorce, because if you don't know your spouse, because you've been in the house now 19 months with the same person every day for 24 hours a day and your crazy children, you now know everything about your spouse that you may not have known before. And that little cute clicking noise that they normally make is not cute anymore, is it? The way they tap their pen or the clipboard or a desk, it's not cute anymore, is it? The way that they eat up all the snacks before you came home and leave crumbs is not cute anymore, Warren. So the divorce rate is a little high right about now. So we're going to have a discussion with a relationship expert, and they're going to give us their opinion. Write down your questions, send them in. I can't wait for everybody. We're going to have a good time as we heal relationships, as we give you advice about dating, and as we try to find a way of finding making those cute corks cute again. So thank you, Warren, and thank you everyone for
And
tuning
can I
in.
say this one thing?
Anything.
And when you get a minute, when sometime I really want to talk about hamburgers in America. I
Uh-oh.
know a little bit about that, and I know some of the problems, and I really want to share it with you so that you
Uh-oh.
kind of understand what you're getting.
Well, I tell you what, we can definitely talk about hamburgers in America. I am almost afraid of this conversation because I can only imagine.
You want to hear it?
I can only imagine what you're going to share with me, and then I'll probably never ever eat it. Well, I don't eat hamburgers now anyway, so
Well,
turkey.
it depends upon where you get them and where it comes from, and I can talk about that and the whole history of it.
Well, you know what? Right before July 4th, I think that's a conversation we all need to have. So, yeah, maybe we talk a little bit about it next week, and then we'll do relationships.
So if maybe my
Maybe
my
we'll do
my
30 and 30, 30
my
minutes.
age requires me to not have a good memory, which
Okay.
I which is what happens. So
Well,
remind me, and I will, and I certainly will talk about it.
yuck. Okay. I don't know if I'm ready for it, but we'll certainly talk about it, especially if you say we need to. So thank you. I thank you again, Warren. I can't wait for this conversation. This is going to be a doozy, everyone. We may have a lot of people that turn over to the vegan life after this conversation, which is not a bad thing. So remember, be kind, be whole, be healthy. Wear your mask if you want to, and just be nice to each other. If you know someone that's in need, make sure you help them because you never know who's suffering and from what. Thanks again, Warren. This is IITG Seasoned Sisters Speak. I'm Victorianne Russell Walton, aka Maryland's Big Diva, and I've got my man Warren Green online. Hi, Miss Garla. Thank you for allowing Warren to give us an hour of your lives. And thank you, husband Harvey and David, for letting me have this hour to discuss, to build, and to empower. Everyone be blessed, behold. We're going to talk about hamburgers, y'all. Get ready. Bye, Warren.
Bye.